Welcome to Kenpo University. My name's Al.
And I'm Ted.
And we're going to be talking about the weapons rule. So the general weapons rule is control, disarm, technique. So first you have to control the weapon, then you disarm the guy, and then you do your technique. Now, unfortunately, Kenpo is not a weapon system. So we're still trying to do category completion. We're still trying to do all that type of stuff when we're doing our weapons techniques. And unfortunately, it messes up this rule a lot. Okay? And this is where, when you're doing knives and clubs and you're in brown belt and working on black and stuff like that, you're going to have a better idea of, oh, I can change this to this, or I can change this to this to stay safe. So I'm going to show you some areas where everything's going correctly, and then I'm going to show you a few techniques where you're like, if I'm following my rule, I might want to do it a little bit different. So it's control, disarm, then technique. So as I'm standing here, he's doing his overhead club. I want to move off to the side, get my X block in there, and then I'm getting my control factor right here. So I'm controlling him, and I just do a knee because it's always lock and hit. Okay, so I lock him up, boom, I hit him just so that he's not going to do anything, and then I take the club out, boom. Now I can start hitting him. All right, and that's actually the first move of the extension, just to let you know. Let's do a knife technique. We'll do, grab a knife if you could. Let's start with glancing lance. So glancing lance is a high knife. Never put two hands in the same zone or move them at the same time when you're doing this technique. And even when you're doing long six, remember it's a high knife, not down here someplace. So as he stabs, I step back, I get the grab, and I get my break. So it's one, then two, all right, as this is in here. And then the technique says kick, poke to the eye, and then jump off to the side. Wait a second. He's still got a knife. We did not follow our rule. I controlled the weapon for a second, but I never disarmed you before I went into my technique. So this is an instance where I might want to change the technique just a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm going to show you what I remember Mr. Planis showing me. So as the knife comes in high, it's get the grab, get the break, turn the knife down, this hand just slips around, you disarm, and you go right back to the elbow. Now, I controlled it, now I disarmed him, now I can do my technique as I'm going in. So when you're doing when you're doing glancing lance, I want to get rid of that knife a little bit faster than what the technique does. A lot of times you'll find that you may not have, like Calming the Storm, you don't have control of the weapon. You might grab it, but then you let go and re-grab it, and then you let go and re-grab it. Not really how you want to do it. Defying the Storm is a little bit better idea, okay? Calming the Storm works fine if when you jump in, you punch him in the face, he drops the club. Now you've disarmed him. And that's usually how, when I'm teaching the technique, if he's stepping in at you for Calming the Storm, and I jump in and punch him in the face, it's two trucks colliding. They'll have a tendency to hold where it hurts, drop the club, whatever. So then it makes the technique a little bit more viable. But as far as a weapons technique, I would not want to do it that way. I would rather do it as Defying the Storm as we go through the technique. Now, some people can make an argument that if you can't shoot me or stab me, then you're effectively disarmed, and then you're okay to do the technique, but I don't like it that way. I like to actually disarm people as fast as I possibly can. Short and sweet for the street is what the real saying for Kenpo is. Advanced Kenpo people, besides everything coming from a figure 8 in Kenpo, advanced Kenpo takes things out. It doesn't put more stuff in. I know a lot of people think that way, but if you're fighting out on the street, you don't want to keep adding and adding and adding to your technique. You want to take things out and make them as effective as possible by following all the rules and principles when you're doing it. So, but go through, try to follow the general rule of control, disarm, and technique. And again, the one argument is if you're controlling the weapon so well that he can't stab you, slice you, hit you, whatever, then he's essentially disarmed. But I like to actually disarm the guy personally. I would rather have the weapon in my hand than in their hand. And that's how you want to take a look at the system. Thank you for watching this video production from Kenpo University.